Okay, well let's get started. Um, since we don't have Tracy here, I don't know if anyone has any updates from the CI/CD cybersecurity group to share, or the Data Ops initiative. And just back today from holidays, as I was saying, so I don't have updates to share. But okay, so um, as you know, we discussed in the past potential new SIGs that we could have as part at the CDF, and that kind of align with also the tracks for CDCon, and those are AI and the platform engineering sake. Um, so on the specific issues that I created regarding this too, there's been no activity on GitHub yet. I don't know if there was any discussion at CDCon about this or
About
no.
new
Okay.
SIGs, you say? Yeah, there definitely was discussion, and there was a proposal from Tracy that I believe the proposal was that Brett, oh dear, Brett's last name, I forget Brett's last name from SAS, was a
Yes.
candidate to lead the, sorry, Brett, what?
Um, no, I know what you mean. Brett Smith. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So was a candidate to lead platform engineering, I believe, but I haven't seen anything since then.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'll try to sync with Tracy then and see if she has more uh, updates. Maybe ping Brett. Um, okay. Well, I don't have anything else on this right now. Sorry, it's a bit on the lightweight side. My agenda today is still catching up with things that's happening. Something as I also wanted to share, we started a conversation like a couple of weeks ago um, with folks from a project called Plumber. I shared the link there. It's basically they provide capabilities for um, analyzing pipelines. They started with GitLab pipelines and then later added support for GitHub Actions. So the idea is to have like compliance service for pipeline to verify that pipelines comply with uh, best practices, security guidelines. So I haven't had too much time to look into details of the project myself, as then I went on holidays. But so there is a potential for the project to collaborate with the CDF. So there is definitely mutual interest at this stage. So we've been sharing with them like the documentation, what it means to be part of the CDF community, what implies if they were interested in potentially donating the project to the CDF. And yeah, so the conversation is going on. I pinged them today, earlier today, but yeah, I haven't got a reply yet. But hopefully before the next TSC meeting, we will have some more updates. In the meanwhile, it might be interesting for the projects hosted at the CDF to uh, have a look at the project, maybe try it with their own pipeline if they're using any of the technology supported by the project to get some impressions and feedback for the community. Hi, Tracy.
Hey there,
Welcome.
sorry I'm late.
No worries. Yeah, we just started. We're discussing about the Plama project. Yeah, that they shared some potential interest in collaborating with the CDF, possibly becoming a CDF project. And yeah, so conversation are ongoing on that. We kind of skipped the SIG updates section, Tracy, because we didn't have any yourself. Is there anything you wanted to you had to share maybe about the CI/CD cybersecurity group since last time we talked?
Yes, it is now being moved forward as a project. I'm super happy for them. A couple of the developers, like Chris Stern, have done a lot of work and has a vision for it to be more than just a Hugo server. He wants it to be much more interactive. So I think that they'll be pretty happy. And, they're hoping at making it an official project, they'll get more developers to be on those calls and not so many, security people who know security and DevOps products, but are not coding any websites.
Yeah, welcome. Congratulations then to the group. Uh, do you know, I mean, we went for the vote. Is this been sorry, announced already at CityCon? Was this
No,
announced at
it
CityCon?
wasn't. There was, I'm not sure what happened at the governing board level, but there was pushback on it becoming a project because they see it as just a best practices document. They reached out to me on that topic, and I try to reiterate over and over and over that we are not defining best practices in any way, shape, or form in that document. We're trying to create an easy navigational guide to find tools to meet the secure software development framework. And they're going to add OpenSSF baseline to it as well. And they want to add Cray to it. So we're not defining best practices. We're trying to create a tools guide that could be navigational. And I think
I
that's
see.
clarified it. Nobody's trying to write best practices at that. They're just trying to map tools to these industry standards that are being published globally.
I see. So do you know where, I mean, where the conversation is now, Tracy? So is the issue resolved?
I got the documents. They sent me over documents to make sure everything was looking okay. The one confusing part was they wanted a uh, like IP ownership signed off, and I don't own the IP. So I told them I was confused by that document because this has been a working group that's been part of the CDF, and you guys have paid for everything that they have done, including where the Hugo server is being hosted.
Mhm.
So I don't see that. I don't. Deploy Hub doesn't own it. Red Hat doesn't own it. Capital One doesn't own it. I don't really know how they would see. Yeah, so I pushed that one back and said, I'm not sure what this one
Mm.
is, and I can't sign it. But the rest I did correct anything that was I saw wrong. And I did let them know that we would, as a team, recruit a rep for this board.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm aware, the IP conversation is only related to trademarks, this kind of things that may need to be transferred, but as there is
Yeah,
no trademark involved,
there's
and
not. And like I
the
said, I wouldn't even know who would own it if somebody had created it, along the way. But we don't. There's nothing. It's totally, there's nothing there.
and the work of the group is open source as it is licensed. I believe it's Apache too, or I'm not sure what
It's
licenses.
all, yeah, Hugo's all under Apache.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. So there
yeah,
should
no,
be no,
I mean the content itself, but yeah.
and the
Anyway,
content
so
itself has been all contributed to the under the CDF's Git repo.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, well, let me know if you need anything from me or
Okay,
from the group.
will do.
Um,
I think we're good though.
okay, all right. Um, okay, well, thanks for the update, Tracy. Um, yeah, I think Roxanne reported here, CityCon went well, and there we have a link to the recording. These are recording from the Open Source Summit that includes the CDCon ones. Oh, and there is a CDCon playlist as well. So if you want to see those, I started working my way through them, but I couldn't watch the entire series yet, as it's quite a lot of content. But yeah, um,
We had a
anything
very,
to
it
report?
was, we had a really good, I mean, I, let's just say that CDCon had a line at the door, and
Okay,
that is
that's
pretty
great.
cool. Yeah, it is really cool that CDCon had a line at the door. Apparently, the Linux kind of channel was blowing up, telling people to get over there to try to help us out because there were people standing at the door and we had no places for people to sit. So, Mark did a great job of being MC. He kept it completely on time. We got really good feedback about the 10-minute talks. That was something that people really liked. They liked the 10-minute talks. They liked the way it moved. We got really good feedback on the panel. Um, Jennifer Mulford from Okta literally packed the room out. It was totally packed. And for a half day, the room was, I think I looked at maybe 5 or 6 open chairs around security. We had the OpenSSF came in and talked about their projects. And we had a real heart to heart with DevOps people and security people about the tools that they're creating and why they're not using them. It was very clear that the biggest problem with their tooling is it doesn't scale. Like Steve Taylor would ask Mark, how many repos does Jenkins have? And you're going to do this for every single repo. So I think that they may have gotten somewhat of the message that if they want those tools to get adopted across DevOps people, they need to make them scalable. Uh, so I really felt it was a really good CDCon. I was really happy of the way that we did the 4 pillars, the projects in the morning. Dadisi kind of reintroduced CD events and some of the stuff that he's going to be working on with his new company. And then we went into AI, and that packed the room for the afternoon. And then the next 2 days around security, we did platform engineering. And it was interesting because I was trying to keep track of who was showing up. And we had different faces in the room. So we had a group of platform engineers. I talked to a couple of them, and they were like, yeah, you're just doing everything on platform engineering. So we're just staying here for the entire morning. So it worked out well. We had a very active live room with lots of people who attended, lots of different faces. So I think overall it went really, really well. We had a packed room for both of the lunch meetings, which is surprising. People would get their box lunches and come back to the room. So it was good. I was happy and I was proud of the work that the team did to pull that together.
So, Andrea, I'm trying to find the CDCon playlist through the YouTube search interface, and I'm not finding it. Could you share that URL either in the chat here or someplace else, just so that I've got it?
Yes,
Thanks.
here you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Got it. I have it now. Thanks very much.
Hmm. I wonder if the playlist is not discoverable.
Yeah, I don't know
There,
what
when I
what
looked yesterday, there were only a few that had been published so far.
Yeah, interesting. So on my display, it shows that the videos were published 5 days ago. Now,
All of
the
them?
playlist, well, I don't know. All the ones that are in my list all say 5 days ago. Now, that doesn't mean that they were actually visible 5 days ago. They may have been published and held in reserve, but I see 26 videos in the list, and that's good. That's great.
It looks like they are out there. I'm looking at it now at this playlist, and it looks like everybody's is out there now.
Great.
Yeah.
Jennifer Mulford did a really good job for us as a keynote. Her breakdown of using AI for platform engineering or CI/CD was, basically, would you take if you're at a building site and you have a construction worker who is an apprentice, would you hand them the keys to the crane? Which I thought was a really good analogy. So everybody loved her. She did a great job for us, and she has agreed to be on the platform engineering working group lead. And I was able to recruit Brett Smith to be to start a working group around AI. The reason why that's important is because on the governing board side, I've been trying to get them to kind of pivot how the CD Foundation is seen, and that we should be seen as a place to go for using AI in CI/CD, and have a branch, kind of a branch olive tree offering to the platform engineering groups who are working with DevOps teams. And so those were kind of our three pillars. And the board really was concerned about not having, having that on our website, but not have a working group that's dealing with it. So I'm going to be working with Jennifer and Brett and Roxanne to get them started, and hopefully they'll be able to take it and run with it. I think it would be good for us to understand when we have these SIGs what we'd like them to do. So they have an understanding of what their responsibilities are. Because it doesn't work if you just, I learned from the CI cybersecurity group that you can't just have a group of people talking about CI cybersecurity. You have to have something for them to work on. And that's when we started working on the guide as a place to meet and have a meeting of the minds. I almost feel like we should encourage them to go, look for open source projects that the that CD Foundation might want to bring in that are in those areas. So, it might be something that we want to think about in terms of what those two we'd like to see from those two SIGs, because they're both open to how that might be managed, and certainly having them come on and to future meetings and start talking about what they're doing, I think will be important. But having them hunt down some open source projects would be great. Hunt down and evaluate open source projects that we should be, reaching out to see if they'd like to become part of the CD Foundation.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks, Tracy. Yeah, that's yeah, but I totally agree. I think the the first the first step should be for them to define what is their goal, what is what are the things that they want to work on. And I've seen it also in other foundations, like starting kind of like exploratory group and defining their own charter, and then becoming like an official group. We don't need to go through like this format of like evolving the structure from exploratory to full-fledged group. But I think the idea of having as a first step, deciding the goal, what are the next step, what are the deliverables, what are the things that we want to work on is really good.
Yeah.
So cool.
So a lot of good things came out of it. We've got two people who would like to run working groups. We got a lot of exposure and discussion with the Open SSF, and the Linux Foundation was told that CDCon's blowing up, which is great.
That's really good. Yeah, yeah. And thanks again, Tracy, for like steering the work of the program committee, setting up the conference so well, and to you, Mark, for leading, yeah, facilitating the conference. And
Yeah, he kept us on schedule. Let me tell you, we had a very aggressive schedule. If you look at the number of, you look at the playlist and you're like, wow, we had a lot of talks. And we got them all done, and we were on time. And the party, we had so many people came and told me, thank you for having this little reception afterwards. Many people had been done for the day, and the last thing they wanted to do was to go to another event afterwards. And ours was just in this really pretty glassed-in area, just down the hall from where our room was, and people chatted. I got so much feedback. People really, really loved what we were doing, so all was good.
that's really great. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks.
Yeah,
Absolutely. My
as
pleasure.
we, I think we should consider the format, the same kind of technique for Vancouver next year. Tracy, I loved what you did there. We may want to accept a few even less 10-minute talks though in favor of more with question and answer. There was some feedback, Brett Smith, for instance, who said, "Hey, give me more chance to interact with the presenters." And it's the Melissa, was it Melissa? No, Mulford, Jennifer Mulford.
Jennifer, uh-huh.
She was brilliant. So yes, absolutely. Those kind of things. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, she was. She was great.
Great. Do we know, uh, is there some kind of feedback form or some way for participant to provide us with feedback,
I at least
positive or
received
negative?
an invitation to provide feedback, and I answered their feedback form. So Linux Foundation coordinates that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check with maybe with Roxanne might be able to get kind of a extract of that feedback for us. That would be really interesting. But yeah, thanks, Bill, for the great work on this. Um,
Now, Andrea,
yeah,
as a side effect of Open Source Summit and CDCon, it's becoming clear to me that the open source world is changing dramatically in terms of security, thanks to security focused AI work. The disclosure rates have gone up dramatically. Spring Framework just published a blog post talking about how dramatically that increase has gone. So I think it may align with our cybersecurity SIG. I don't know. I've just got to think more about it and decode where do we have this discussion. So maybe Tracy, you can guide. What I'm seeing is lots and lots more valuable and useful security issue reports. AI is getting really good at it. And Daniel Stenberg of Curl and the Spring Project both have said, look, AI is getting very good at finding and exercising vulnerabilities. That means something to us as projects. Do you think, Tracy, a topic that cybersecurity SIG is interested in or not particularly?
They are going to be interested in it if there are because now they have kind of stuck their, flag in the ground and said, what we want to be able to do is as these new standards come along, we want to be able to make sure that a DevOps engineer knows how to implement those standards. So that
Ah,
being said, they are trying very hard to see how they can bring AI into the puzzle. They are following the current NIST standards. NIST has updated the SSDF to include some AI standards around it. They're pretty sketchy so far because there's not even a good AI bomb to use. And while there are folks saying that, AI can get us out of the problem of vulnerabilities, AI is also getting us into the problem of more vulnerabilities. And it's a double-edged sword, that's for sure. Uh, but we don't really have a clear direction from these standard communities that says how should AI generated code be treated from a vulnerability perspective. It's
yeah.
all it's all treated the same, right? It's just code. Code is code.
Yeah, and so my focus, I think, you've clarified for me. The cybersecurity SIG isn't a great place for this worry that I have, because the worry that I have is related specifically to the security teams of each of our open source projects. Who's handling this new massive influx of this new larger influx of vulnerability reports, and how are they handling them? And that feels like that's not the primary focus of the cybersecurity SIG, and probably shouldn't be. We shouldn't risk derailing them from their primary mission. So I'll think about it some more and see if I can find alternate places for a discussion.
So right. So let's say NIST came up with a standard for protecting the software, their PS tasks, and
Right.
protecting the software. One of them was to minimize noise around low and medium vulnerabilities. You never know. That could be one of them. Then that CI/CD cybersecurity team is going to say, well, how would you do that? What tools are out there to implement that? So that's their focus, not to come up with
Right.
a best practice.
Got it.
They want
Okay.
to, they're the how they're asking the question. Yeah, if you look at the SSDF, it is hard to answer how would you do it. I've been in DevOps my entire career, and I'm looking at it and scratching my head. Anne Marie Fred's brilliant. She works for Red Hat. And she manages platform engineering teams. And we sat there for about 3 hours on a call one day and went through it. And she was like, "This stuff is hard. How does anybody who's not taking this kind of time sort how to do this stuff? Not this is what we think you should do, minimize noise from your vulnerabilities, but how do you go about doing that?
Got it.
Automated and scaled."
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. So uh, I'll probably start some side conversations with security teams in one or more of the projects just to hear from them if my worry is actually valid or not, because they may come back and tell me, Mark, you're worrying about something that's actually not an issue.
Well, I want to
Great.
say though that there has been discussion about the guide and how we potentially could, for now, an AI create a chapter on AI, AI gotchas or something of that sort, AI traps.
Mm.
So that
And
there could be some areas that says, here are some areas of concern that we don't have answers for yet. So
and
I would say Kate Scarcella would love to talk to you about that and how we can implement that into the guide.
okay. All right. I'll talk to Kate. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's an issue that projects are probably feeling on their skins. Probably all of the CDF project, I would assume. At least I know. Well, Tecton is not a CDF, but it's their experience, and I think Spinnaker as well, and probably most likely Jenkins.
I know
There's
Jenkins is absolutely. I
yeah,
I see the influx in Jenkins because I'm a Jira administrator, even though I'm not on
yeah,
the security team, and the influx is simply greater. There's a lot more. We started this bug bounty program, and it's that has brought new submissions, and then it's obvious that AI is getting involved and helping these researchers. That's great as well. We like it. It means there's more.
It means that they're going to be able to use a vulnerability in less than 10 days. They can do it in sometimes 6 hours.
Yeah, and that's also a worry. That's also a valid worry. Mine was more about how are the security teams dealing with the sheer volume of things that are being sent at them, that are being
They're
of
not.
yeah.
submissions of reports.
They're
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
They're
and
not.
that's not a great answer.
No, I
Well, that may
know.
be
I know.
factual. That's not a great answer. So,
But Mark, I
Yeah.
would
I
love
mean,
for you to consider, at least on the Jenkins side, is to, you know, Ortelius could start scanning your SBOMs and reporting on not what's in your repo, but what's in your SBOMs. And that's going to cut down on the noise pretty substantial.
I think you and I have a disagreement there. I would see that as dramatically increasing the noise while we then have to suppress Ortelius from telling us about things that we know are not problems. So that my worry is the noise that would inject and when do I get benefit? So we can talk separately about that though, Tracy.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I think I also think it would be good to have somewhere within the CDF where we take this discussion forward. I mean, there is some initiative looking at this within companies or across companies. Like there is the Glasswing project from Anthropic that you may have heard. There is what is called um, Lighthouse, I think, from Red Hat and IBM
Red Hat
as well.
Project Lightwell. I think it's called
Light
Lightwell.
Lightwell. Sorry,
Yeah.
thank you, Tracy. I should know. I
It's
just
okay.
just back from holidays today, and these times you have so many things to digest, and like what
And
happened
that is
in the last 2 weeks.
that's being spearheaded by Vincent Dannon, who's on the TOC for Ortelius. Lightwell is. I have a call with
So
Jamie Thomas after this on that project and where it's going.
great, yeah, I think it would be good for us to, keep an eye on all these initiatives and discuss about this within the CDF as well. So yeah, cool. Yeah, great conversation. Thanks. Um, all right. Last thing I wanted to bring up that Roxanne shared about CityCon, unless there are more, is that the awards were announced there, of course. Congratulations to everyone who won another award for the great work. Thanks for their contributions to the CDF in general and to the project as well. So thanks to all of them. Yeah, as you may have seen, there are TOC elections ongoing. So we have one of the end user seats is up for election, and there are 3 of the GB seats also up for election. So Roxanne included here in the notes a link to the forms for nominations. So if you know good candidates or interesting being a candidate, well, you're already on the TOC, but if you know good candidates, yeah, please share this with them. Okay, I guess that's all we have for the written agenda. Any other topic folks would like to bring up?
None from me. Thanks very much, Andrea.
Yeah, thanks everyone. I'm so sorry I missed CityCon this time. I mean, it sounds like it was really great event, so I'll be catching up through the videos. But yeah, have a great rest of your days, everyone, and yeah, see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.
Bye. Bye
Hey,
bye.
bye-bye.